President Trump calling on Democrats to get back to work amid a standoff over more cash for the Paycheck Protection Program. Listen.
Essentially, we're waiting for $250 billion. The Democrats are refusing to do it. It's a small amount of money relative to what it represents, because it represents small businesses. It represents them staying in business. It's something that should be approved by the Democrats. The Republicans want it badly, and the people want it very badly.
Here now to react is Democratic Congressman from New Jersey, Josh Gottheimer. Congressman, good morning to you. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
What's your take? What's your reaction to what the president just said?
Well, I think we all want to get the paycheck program done, and that's the loan forgiveness program for small businesses. I've been talking to small businesses day and night, and we've got to stand by them. You know, in New Jersey, we've been hit incredibly hard by the virus, and I think we're all on board. You know, there are other issues that are also critically important, as you probably know, especially in those areas like mine that have been hit so hard. Between New York and New Jersey, we've got half the cases in the country. And you know, our hospitals are really struggling. They're out of resources, and our municipalities, our towns, our counties, you know, they're really tapped out and need help. In my district, just to give you a sense of it, we've got 20,000 cases in my counties, and more than 1,000 people have died. It's really a very alarming situation here.
But respectfully, Congressman, if everyone is on board, as you say, why isn't it getting done?
Well, my understanding is that there's a lot of good conversation happening. Kevin McCarthy yesterday came out and said that he thinks we've got a deal. So I'm hoping that it gets done. I mean, there's no reason why it's not getting done. We've been very good, frankly, about coming together, Democrats and Republicans, to get the first three emergency packages done to help the country and help our communities. I mean, we've got to get this done.
But Congressman,
now,
there is a reason it's not getting done. I mean, we knew this was going to run out. Republicans have been calling from the beginning, just replenish this PPP program so small businesses can get it. Yet Nancy Pelosi in California is demanding other spending in addition to it. There's an easy solution. Why is your speaker holding out for additional money?
Well, listen, I speak for myself.
I know,
I'll just
absolutely.
Tell you, I'll just tell you that if they held a vote, I'm there. And my point is, we also need assurances for the other areas where there are a serious crisis happening in districts like mine. We've got to make sure that we also take care of our frontline healthcare workers. And as you know, it's because you're right in the area. It's crushing our states right now. We need help, not just, of course, for our small businesses, but also for our frontline healthcare workers, for our hospitals, and for our towns. They're really in tough trouble here.
Congressman, Speaker Pelosi wants, obviously, this additional money for hospitals, frontline healthcare workers, and then also for the states and local governments who are going to have budget problems and shortfalls here. But that pressing issue that Pete's just addressing there is the reason why I'm getting emails, many of us in the news business are, from business owners saying, I applied, and now they're saying you're not open. They're not going to give you the loan because I can't apply anymore. My question to you is, take me past Monday morning, Tuesday. When do you see Congress taking action?
I believe we're going to get a deal done, and I'm hoping we're going to get a deal done this weekend, and we're going to vote next week. That's what I'm hoping for. It's what we're pushing for.
Have you been told that?
You know, I've been told. I mean, I'm reading what you're reading. I'm not in the negotiation, but I know what we all believe strongly, which is we all have to get this done. We all represent these small businesses that are in need. I know I do. And I'll tell you, it's a huge issue. But one point on why it's so important that we get money to our frontline healthcare workers, to our hospitals and our nursing homes. In the CARES Act that was passed, in New Jersey, in my district, we're getting about $6,000 in our hospitals per patient, which costs when people are in the hospital for weeks. And if you go to West Virginia, they're getting more than $400,000 per patient, just the way things worked out. So you can see why some areas are getting crushed. And what we need to do is put the resources where you've got a hurricane hitting, right? And that's what we've always done when there's a natural disaster. We try to help out the areas that are hurt most, whether that's our local communities and our first responders or our frontline healthcare workers. We've got to make sure we stand by them. And I think that's what, I'm not hearing everybody understand that in the country. And I think it's really important they understand what some of our communities are going through.
Well, we're going to stand by the hope that this does get done, as you're suggesting. In the meantime, you were named to President Trump's bipartisan task force that's focused on reopening the economy. Where do we stand with that? I mean, I know New York, New Jersey, this area, some of the hardest hit places in the country. What is it going to take to get everyone, do you think, into this phase one? I know it's going to be, incremental for different states.
No, and we talked about this with the president. What's critically important is that we need a back-to-work checklist as the way to come reopen America and reopen communities like mine in a safe and healthy way. And we, as we're dealing with the health crisis, we've also got to deal with the economic crisis and make sure, to the point on making sure our small businesses are taken care of. We need a clear checklist for how you reopen, what needs to be in place. Of course, testing essential to that. And if we just don't have enough testing here. And every day I'm on the phone, just like I'm on the phone with our businesses, I'm on the phone with our frontline healthcare workers and with others. We're saying, and first responders saying, please, I need a test. And we're really struggling to get those tests. We also need to make sure that our hospitals have what they need. So if there was an outbreak again, that we could handle it. That's the protective equipment, it's ventilators, everything that needs to be in line. And, so there's a lot, and also very clear instructions with how we operate our businesses, what's safe, how do we make sure we keep people healthy in this process. So there's got to be a very clear checklist. I co-chair a group called the Problem Solvers Caucus. We've got a checklist we're putting out of what we think needs to be in place to reopen. But I'd just say this, we just got to do it in a safe way.
Congressman, as you mentioned, you're in one of the hardest hit areas. We're thinking about the residents there. The president said yesterday, safety first. That's critically important. But as we learn more, we also know who's affected. We also know who the vulnerable populations are. So as we learn that information within that context, even in some of the harder hit areas, isn't there room for some latitude for healthy people who want to take the proper safety precautions to go out and open their business up as long as they practice the social distancing and are responsible about it?
Listen, that's among the guidelines we're looking for, and obviously there are people like the CDC who are smarter than I am on this and tell us exactly what we can do to keep people safe. I think a key part of that, as you probably would agree, is testing. You have to be able to know that if someone has it or doesn't have it, because there's carriers, and you don't want to find out that you're suddenly spreading it all over again, and we've got to close down the country. I mean, my biggest fear would be that we reopen and that it spreads again, and we've got to shut it down. That would be devastating to the economy and devastating to the country that so badly wants to open. So I think you've got to do it in smart phases. You've got to think, of course, regionally, and you have to think in a smart way by industry. But listen, I want to make sure that we can do everything we can to reopen quickly. I want the kids to go back to school. We all want to get out of the house, but we just got to make sure, as the president said yesterday, that we do it in a very safe way.
Well, Representative Josh Gottheimer, thank you. You're in the middle of it, literally, figuratively, in Washington. Good luck. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Just pray for everyone, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.